If you've ever walked into a CT shift feeling like everyone else knows what's going on except you, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the CAT Scan Guru podcast. I'm your host, Karinna Hogan, CT technologist, educator, and creator of the CT Tech Survival System. Each week, we're cutting through the confusion around protocols, contrasts, workflow, and everyday challenges that no one seems to explain when you're learning CT. My goal is very simple. Help you become more confident, more competent, and less stressed every time you walk into the department. Because let's be honest, most departments don't have the time to teach everything you need to know in CT. Now let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CAT Scan Guru podcast. Hope you guys are having an awesome week. We are just strolling along in the month of June, so it's nice and hot out there. All those summer concerts and summer activities are in swing. I know my kids are in summer school, so as far as summer, like my time is super limited because they only go to summer school for so many hours of the day. So it's only like from the morning till like early afternoon. So then mom has to figure out what she is going to do as far as entertaining them. So little housekeeping. So if you didn't listen to my prior episode, I have created the CT Tech Survival System. So this is a system with multiple courses in it. You get the protocols guide, the pocketbook, an 8-week checklist, the audio series, all in this system. This will help you out while you're doing your CT training. It is designed specifically for new CT technologists. The link is in the show notes for you to purchase this system. I took a lot of time to go ahead and just put this together, and I will be adding and updating more courses as we go along. So go check that out and go get your learn on. Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am starting to do protocol breakdowns where I take in one protocol, I break it down, visuals, how it's set up, how you're supposed to see everything, what you're supposed to see on your scan. I'm doing that. So this is a great learning tool for those new CT technologists. So go subscribe. Also, make sure you follow on TikTok and on Instagram as I do post weekly protocol videos and other tech tips and things of that sort. So go check that out. It's all in the show notes. So in today's episode, I know I've made a TikTok video about this that I will link in the show notes. We're going to be talking about raw data versus image data. So they do sound the same. People think that they are the same, but they are different when it comes to CT. So it's very important that we know the difference between both of them because they are important when it comes to our images. So raw data. How we can explain raw data is they are binary numbers collected by X-ray signals that come from the detectors that represent an image. Okay. So raw data is specifically used to create those thin data sets when we do a coronal and sagittal reformat, any MIP images, any 3D imaging. That is what we use to go ahead and construct those thin data sets. So where we get a overlap of images so that we get nice, clean pictures when it comes to sagittal, coronal, MIPs, 3Ds, you name it. Okay. Now, what may be a little bit different is how long it stays on the CT system. Now, if you work at a hospital like a level 1 trauma center like I do, or some kind of high acuity hospital, or just anywhere in general, okay, typically the raw data doesn't stay on the system maybe a few days, maybe even that. Okay. I know at my hospital, we're lucky if we get 3 days. That's how much high capacity, high usage that we use on all 5 CT scanners that we do have. And that's not including the 2 upstairs in the outpatient center. Okay. Now, if you work at an outpatient center, typically you probably will get maybe, and I'm stretching this, maybe a week. But that's kind of stretching it a little bit because I've heard other technologists say not even 48 hours. So it is important that if you scan a patient and then let's say ortho wants a 3D of a femur that you scanned like 5 days ago, you have to be sure that it's still on the CT system because a lot of times it's not. The reason being is because that raw data is set to auto delete, and that is by the manufacturer. They set it up to auto delete after a certain period of time that it frees up that local drive and so that it doesn't overload any storage or the storage doesn't become full. Because when we're scanning consistently, like we are nowadays, like that local drive will get full really quick. Okay. And let's say that you don't have those raw data images to create that 3D. Guess what? We're going to have to rescan the patient. And the reason being is because that raw data doesn't stay on the system that long. Quick little reminder before we continue. If you're enjoying this episode and want a structured roadmap for learning CT, check out the CT Tech Survival System. It is a step-by-step, multiple course I've created for new CT technologists who want more confidence with workflow, protocols, contrast, and everyday CT decision making. The link is in the show notes. And it's because of high capacity use and how many scans we're doing every single hour and every single day. Okay. So just be mindful of that, because if it's not on the system, you can't reconstruct anything. Now, image data. Your image data can also be called reconstructed data. So this is pixel information collected from the scan data used to display your images. So this is the scan data that you get from the raw images, and then boom, it goes up on your screen. Okay. Now, when we get those annoying messages on our scanner, it says, you cannot confirm, storage is full, please delete images. This is your image data, where as a technologist, this can be deleted to increase your storage space. Okay. Now, little warning, make sure that if you need to keep a study on there for whatever purpose, that you lock that study so it doesn't get accidentally deleted by somebody else. Because once you delete it, it cannot be recovered. And especially if you don't have the raw data, like you're done, you're SOL. So make sure that you lock those exams if you need to keep them on your system longer and, it doesn't get deleted by anybody else. Okay. So when you get those annoying pop-ups, that's saying that you need to free up some storage so that we can go ahead and initiate the scan. Because if you don't, you can't scan anybody. It's because the storage is full and it needs to be able to store however many images and those data sets that you need to store on the local drive. So that is my short explanation on raw data and image data. A technologist that follows me on TikTok named it perfectly. This person had said, think of raw data as the milk, eggs, sugar, flour, like you're baking a cake, the oil, or baking cookies. Okay. Think of the raw data as that. And then your image data is, your baked cake or your baked cookies, which I thought that was a fabulous analogy because it makes it very simple to explain. So that is it for this episode. Hopefully this was insightful. Like I said, I will link the TikTok video where I go over raw data and image data, where I give you a short synopsis on how these two things work. So make sure you check out the show notes for everything I described. Go get the CT Tech Survival System. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow along on TikTok and Instagram, and subscribe to the show or share it with a technologist that needs it. So thank you so much for joining me in this episode. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Before you go, remember this. The goal isn't to memorize every protocol or know every why overnight. The goal is to build a strong foundation that allows you to think critically, work confidently, and continue to improve on every shift. If you're looking for that foundation, the CT Tech Survival System was built specifically for new CT technologists navigating the challenges of real-world CT training. You'll find the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, confidence in CT isn't about knowing everything. It's about understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it. I'll see you in the next episode.